poem is simply entitled 45. I turned 45 the other week. I'm not ashamed of my age, and I have a boyfriend named Jim who helps me with my physique. Don't get excited. Jim isn't a person, he's a gym, G-Y-M. A weightlifting cardio gym. There are men in him, but none that I've met that I'm attracted to, you know, that you make me want to sweat kind of way. Just men that work out in the gym every day. Now, when I turned 40, I was somewhat stressed. I know I'm blessed, shouldn't have felt the stress, but 40 just sounded so old. But then my godmother, with her infinite words of wisdom, told me something that was not a lie. She said, you need to get over this thing about turning 40 and accept it or die. Those were the words that turned my thought process around. And turning 40 was somewhat profound. I began to understand why people say it's the beginning of your life. I focused on being positive and got rid of all people who brought stress on my life, and that included family and friends and acquaintances and just people who seemed like, though they smiled in my face, really their thoughts were full of hate. And I felt lighter, and my days got brighter. I realized I did not have to settle for anything less than I was worth, and I mean, that is what was great about my 40 life rebirth. But now here's the thing. I don't look my age, or at least I don't think I do, and that should be the only opinion that matters to you. You see, I have an old soul and a young spirit that are constantly in battle. So when I think of a life partner, because I'm single, it sometimes makes my head rattle. See, when I was younger, I liked older guys. I just felt I could relate to them, and though I was younger, I was wise. But now that I'm older, I admittedly like younger men. But I am not a cougar. Let me say that again. But I am not a cougar. And I'm sorry if any of the 2 men I dated out of the last 8 years are up in here tonight, and you thought I was maybe like 35 years old. You never asked me directly, so I never told. Recently in a non-relationship with a guy who didn't really care. He was just there, but I hadn't had a kiss in 8 years, so that was cool. But I realized I was worth more than he could give, and I'm glad that I resisted the physical, because really I'm more about the mental, and that's not accidental. I'm 45, yo, and I know what I want out of life, and from God above. Yeah, I said it. God, he's in my life, and I'm proud. I'm not ashamed to be a Christian. I'm real. So here's the deal. Aging has some perks. Like in 15 years, I'll be able to take the TTC for free. Maybe I can even get a free degree. But there are some crazy things that people say to me. See, I've never had a child because I've never been married, haven't met that special someone, you know, that one that will make my feelings grow to where I will put up with all kinds of foolishness. But for now, I'm good. Feels good in my hood. And feels good in my jeans, too. At least it does from my point of view. But because of my age, people start telling me about their friends who had a baby at 50, or the old lady in the Bible named Elizabeth who was almost 100, and I look at them like, I'm good. I haven't met anyone, and if I do, I won't be having a baby at 50 or at 102. But I'm really happy for Elizabeth in the Bible and for all of your older friends who out of the blue met their husbands. It hasn't happened for me, but I still have hope. I'm not negative, and I'm even open to meeting people in unusual ways. I tried Match.com for a few years and a day, but the internet thing wasn't really for me, so I gave it a good old heave-ho, seriously. Now, I still believe that I'll be walking down the street or in a grocery aisle, and I'll see a brother and give him that special smile, and he'll smile back, even when he realizes that I'm black. And we'll go on a date. We'll go on a date, an old-fashioned date, and hold hands and walk in the sand. Okay, so it's my imagination when I imagine this. I'm back home in Trinidad or on some other island, okay? 45, but I'm kicking it live. Yes, I've had knee injuries, but I'm the happiest walker in Canada. And though tonight I'm rocking extensions, I'd like to mention that I do have real hair under here. It's all mine, okay? So I just had to get that out of the way. So if you ask me how I feel about life and my age, I'll tell you that it feels as good as reciting a poem center stage. It feels good like when the sun shines down on my face, or when I can imagine my knees are good and have won the amazing race. Because age really is just a number. It's about how you feel. It's about the friends you have around you and how you keep things real. And I'm proud of all the things that I've done up to this point. And there's not much you can do to get my nose out of joint. See, I know life is short. I've lost friends, a sister to lupus, my uncle and my mother to cancer. And it was hard, and I was depressed. But when I came out of it, I learned that living my life to the fullest was the answer. So when you see me and tell me how lucky I am, I might give you that strange look, look at you, because you don't really know about all the things that I've been through. But if you had the pleasure to pass through my life, even when you saw me at times of grief and strife, be happy you were here, because right now it's a glorious place to be, because I may be 45, but I feel like 20. Hello.